Well, I'll come back to you, Betsy.
So the Congress has now temporarily solved the debt ceiling and funded the government. What is the president's expectation for a timeline of any sort to move forward on the infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better agenda? Obviously he's had a lot of conversations with members of Congress, but now that those two more immediate things are passed, is there an expectation that there's going to be a lot of progress next week? Is that something that he's conveyed to members of Congress? He wants to move forward on this, particularly before these issues come up again in December.
The president wants to move forward as quickly as possible, but I'm not going to set new deadlines.
On the debt ceiling again, is that something, it seems like he will be able to sign a short-term suspension of that. Are there any conversations about trying to avoid the situation that Congress faced this week so that it doesn't happen again in December, or is the focus primarily on the two pieces of legislation?
Well, I think there's no question our preference this week, last week, and in the future would be to fully address the debt limit and not put the American people in a position where they are worrying about their retirement savings, their Social Security payments to members of the military moving forward. So we would like to have a longer-term solution, there's no question. Well, it took us some time to get there through a little blood, sweat, and tears. Well, not blood, but sweat and tears, perhaps. What last night showed is that this can happen through regular order. And obviously, our preference would have been longer term, but there was a short-term extension. It happened through regular order. We're going to continue to press to raise the debt limit and do it as it has been done in the past in a bipartisan fashion.
One last on that. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer gave a speech after it passed. Senator Manchin and some Republicans criticized that speech. Does the White House have any response to kind of the words that the leader used on the Senate floor?
Well, we also issued our own statement, so I'd point you to the tone of that statement as to what our view is. But I would say that our view continues to be that Leader Schumer has shown great skill in navigating this process through a challenging process. We have confidence in his ability to do that moving forward. And I think it's important to remember that the reason we were teetering on the edge of default and an economic calamity is because Republicans were refusing to join with Democrats or even to allow Democrats to be the adults in the room and raise the debt limit themselves. Go ahead, Tam.
Thank you. Does the president support eliminating the debt limit entirely through some sort of legislative process? There seems to be a growing chorus to just take away the cliffs.
I've heard that, read that, seen that. I would say our focus right now is on, we're about 6 weeks away from another timeline and deadline. We want to do what has been done in the past, almost 81 times in the past, in raising the debt limit, doing it in a bipartisan way through regular order. There's plenty of time for discussion after that.
Is there any possibility of putting the debt limit into the reconciliation Build Back Better plan?
We'll leave the legislative strategy and approach to Leader Schumer. Obviously, we just got agreement on the short-term extension last night, and we'll work closely with him and his team over the course of the period ahead.
And has the president